Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sleepover. I'm your host, Charlie, and today we're joined by our newest regular guest, Kenzie.
Hello, friends.
We are having technical difficulties again, but we're weaving with it. So if audio quality is not as good as it was, then there's a reason for that, and it's the reason that Spotify for podcasters is switching over to Riverside. And if you don't know by now, I have frustrations with that. Everything was going great until they merged the two services.
Boo.
Boo. Anyway, how was your day?
My day?
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It's been my first day off in like 8 days, so I didn't. Yeah, I know. I didn't even set an alarm. I just slept in, and I was definitely supposed to clean my house, but that did not happen.
I know. I understand. I've been the same way.
It's fine.
I recently also just got off of a ridiculously long working stretch, and because did you listen to the part or the episode that I talked about how I have a cleaning service that cleans my house?
No? When did this happen? Who are you?
I sound bougie right now, but I'm not really that bougie. I signed up for a cleaning service because I was just having so much anxiety that if someone were to come over, my house wouldn't be clean enough. That I signed up for the cleaning service, and it's been helpful because both Colton and I are working, and so we both work like ridiculously long hours, and so just the thing that was like falling through was like cleaning. And it's not like my house isn't clean. It just like I was like constantly worried that it wasn't clean enough, even though it was clean enough. But now I have a cleaning person that comes once a month, and I feel like, okay, if this person's job is to clean houses and they've gone through and cleaned the house, then I could just be okay that it is clean enough. So,
for sure.
It just so happened that the cleaning person came like the day before my crazy long, or it was like I've had like a family in town, so I went through and cleaned the house before family came, and then after one set of family stayed with me, the cleaning people came, and then the next set of family stayed with me, and I haven't cleaned up since then, which I need to because they had a dog, and their dog dog had some accidents in my house. So
dang it. That's nice though. Maybe
it is nice because
that will be my life.
now I can like have people come over, and I don't have to be like, is it clean enough? I don't know if it's clean enough, because I have somebody else to just take that burden from me, and it's totally worth it, I think.
Literally, I don't remember who was coming to stay with you, but you like stayed up until 2 a.m. cleaning. Yeah, that's definitely a Charlie thing, which makes me laugh.
It's because I talked with Rachel about it on a previous episode about how like I feel like because I grew up in an environment that we didn't have like typical
good example
standards. I didn't have a good example. Like sometimes it was clean, sometimes it wasn't. So I never really understood what was normal for cleaning. So
Well, and when you were moving, we got so hyper focused on your little spray thing.
Yeah.
What was that thing? And we just cleaned all the nooks and crannies. Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I have this device that it's like it's a steam cleaner that has just it sprays steam, and steam like gets rid of all the gunk, and then you scrub it off. And when I was moving, Kenzie came over, and I legitimately got so obsessed with it that I like steam cleaned my oven for like 4 hours
literally. Yep. It's not an exaggeration. We love it.
Yes, we love a good steam clean. I haven't used my steam cleaner in a while, but I could imagine that I would get real hyper focused on.
Hello. You cut out for just like 1 sec.
Yes, that's because I had an alarm that went off that said it was time to record, but we moved our recording time up. So
Gotcha.
that's what was going on. But anyway, yeah. So I all that to say, I recently went through a long stretch of working also, and I was very grateful to have the cleaning people come
Oh my
because
gosh.
it was one thing that I could just like come home to work after crazy. Like I worked 2 12-hour days and I had a bunch of family in town, and then I
Mm-hmm.
had to work on top of the 12-hour days. I had to work like seven, like a bunch of days in a row. So
Literally, I get it.
it was
But
insane.
you don't have a giant pile of laundry mocking you when you walk in your bedroom. And
I
I
actually
definitely
do
do.
right now.
Oh, slay. Go us.
Go us. But we just had laundry that was not put away, and then there was one in the dryer, and I was like, "We're doing it today." And I
Literally.
maybe this is well, because it's a quiet activity, so I put it on the bed, and I was like, "You can't do the dishes when I'm recording a podcast, but you know what is quiet? Folding laundry."
Oh, see, I couldn't. I like swear when I can't find my socks to match and all of that good stuff. So I'm
Uh,
just I'm just chilling.
um, but yeah, so how you have two jobs now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did
Yep.
you get? I knew that you were interviewing. I didn't know if you got the other job.
I just got hired on as a bartender and I have never bartended before, so it's been it's been an experience to say the least.
Well, that's
Uh
fun.
yeah, and it was graduation weekend at our local college, so I worked every single shift this weekend and it was crazy, basically baptism by fire, but what
Yeah,
other way is there to go?
yeah. They got thrown into the deep end there.
Literally. It's fine. I,
Well,
I
I mean, I think that's. I almost think that's the best if you're going to start, because then
mhm,
you have to do the same task over and over
over and
again.
over.
So you'll
Yeah.
just automatically have a ton of practice by the time you get through it.
Yes, that's definitely some of the stuff I know and I can do on my own now, but I mean, there's so many drinks I didn't even realize. So
Hmm.
I'm making virtual flashcards to study them, which is very on brand for me. It's fine. My
Yeah.
my first night working alone, I was walking up the stairs and I tripped with a whole tray of drinks. It was so embarrassing.
Oh no.
I bruised my knees. Everyone on the dance floor saw it. It was a little bit mortifying, but
Did you break all the glasses?
No, luckily we had been busy enough that the two glasses were in actual like plastic cups,
Oh,
but
good.
the beers definitely tipped over. But they didn't break, surprisingly. Just my
Good.
knees.
Yeah. Well, it would have been 100 times worse if there was broken glass everywhere too.
True. Very true. But yeah, it's been good. I got creepily stalked one night and it was fine. You know,
Mm, that's not good.
it was fine. It's pretty, I think, normal of this person to do that. Everyone was like, he's harmless. You're fine. I was like, all right.
Okay. That's
Mm-hmm.
not the most comforting, but it's fine.
It's fine.
Um I have noticed um experiencing like a college town outside of Utah. Like I thought that I lived in a college town in Utah, but
Mm-hmm.
it's such a different scale when you're outside of Utah, because I feel like fraternities and sororities are not a thing in Utah.
Yeah,
And
they're
like
not
I
as big here.
literally thought it was just like on the movies, and then I drove into the college town in Northwest Arkansas, and it legit looks and everyone acts like the movies, like because if you go to the like bar area on a weekend night, you will see all of the people and they look just like they say they do in the movies. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I thought that I lived in a college town before, but this is like, it's in a completely different like universe than like the normal college experience.
Oh, I believe it. I think especially over east is way more traditional in the way they portray stuff. That's probably where it
Mm.
comes from. I mean, Utah is trying, but it's not that level. I can imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of our
Um,
friends was in a sorority, and she's pretty stoked about it.
oh yeah, that is true. One of our friends is in a sorority, but it's not like
Such a
okay,
lower
so
scale.
yeah, it's so much smaller. Like, I'm not kidding you. There is an area of town that you drive in that every house that you drive past is gigantic, like huge, like the biggest house you've ever seen. And then
Oh
there's
gosh.
15 more, and every single one of them has like Greek letters in the front yard
Gotcha.
that are gigantic, like bigger than humans.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's definitely not a thing here.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I've been making a list of all the things I need to take you to when you come because the I the last two times I've gone down to that area, I've gone to a place called Dixon Street Books, and I'm telling you,
Oh,
you've seen the pictures of it, right?
yeah, I saw the picture you took of your
I took
sister.
I I took Victoria there, and I'm telling you that place like it goes to another dimension. Like there's no
Well,
way it's
when
still
I
on Earth.
saw when I saw how many rows of books there were, even just from like that little picture, I was like, "Oh my God. I can't believe Charlie didn't take me here." But you probably
I
just
know. I
discovered it.
didn't know it existed until like a month ago.
That's
And
fair.
then and so in my defense, I if I had known about it, I would have taken you there, but I
I
did not know about
That's what I told myself, so I'm glad that that is the truth.
it. Well, I need to take you there because there's so like that one picture you saw is just one fraction of
Ugh,
the space and the books and the collection that they have there. It's amazing.
I'm so jealous. I love our bookstore here in Cedar, but it is very very small in comparison. And
Hmm.
they don't rotate out books as frequently. So when I go in there, it's usually all the same stuff that I've seen. So it's
Yeah.
more for vibes than consumption, I guess.
Yeah. Um when I went last time, the first time I went, I had to go to a meeting afterwards, and I didn't want to carry around a bunch of books.
That's why you
And
got to get a
then
tote bag.
I know, and then the second time I went, I had nothing else to do afterwards, so I uh, actually bought books,
Yay, yay.
and I bought. Now, who's to know how long it's going to take me to actually read it? Because the current books I've been reading them for a year.
That's okay.
And we all know about my reading anxiety. But I did buy Untamed by Glennon Doyle.
Okay, yeah,
Have you read that one?
I have. It's pretty good.
I've heard it. I've heard of good things about it. I don't know.
There's there's definitely some good nuggets. There's some stuff that I felt like I'm very much all pro women, but some of it was like men suck. And I'm like, yes, some men suck, but I don't think all of them do.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's good to know.
yeah, just my opinion. But I did love that book. I think she has some really good wisdom in there.
So I got that one, and then I also got a collection of Calvin and Hobbes. Have you ever read Calvin and
Oh,
Hobbes?
yes, that was literally in elementary school. I didn't really have friends, so I'd stay in from recess or like take those books outside and just sit down and read them. I
Mm-hmm.
love Calvin and Hobbes so much. That's awesome.
I learned how to read using Calvin and Hobbes, and it
Really?
recently came up at yeah, that's how I learned how to read was like just reading Calvin and Hobbes books. My sister had them,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, so I she taught me how to read using Calvin and Hobbes, and then I it came up in conversation with Colton, and he was like, I have had no exposure to comic books at all. And I had
Really?
so much exposure from my older sister for comic books. Like I learned how to read with comic books, and she like signed me up for a comic book subscription when I was 14, and I had it for a really long time.
I love that.
And I had so many, and it's so nerdy, but I had like a lot of exposure to comic books. And so, and it all started with Calvin and Hobbes. Like actually my like a little Easter egg about me is that my Instagram handle comes from Calvin and Hobbes.
I didn't realize that. And
Yeah.
wasn't it your dad who made you into a comic book?
No,
Who was
not
it?
my dad. It was a coworker of mine at when I worked at the library growing up in
Oh,
high
okay.
school.
Gotcha.
We all like there was a comic creator that also was our coworker, and he created different superheroes for all of the uh, teenagers that worked at the library while we were working there, and then they're all displayed up at the library that I grew up working in. And so my comic book character, her name was Action Angel, and
Mm.
she was based off of my characteristics, and then also like at the time I was really into drama club, and so like her superpower was being able to use like the masks of like theater to like deceive her opponents. And anyway, so she had like she could like shapeshift, I think. I'm not really sure exactly, but
I love it.
that was her. So my name was Action Angel. Anyway, so Colton said that he had never had any exposure to comics growing up. So when I found there was like a giant collection of Calvin and Hobbes,
I love that. I'm
I
surprised they had him there.
yeah, they had more than one. They had several
Ugh.
of them, but I already have a lot of them. I don't remember which ones I had though, and they're all in my storage unit because all of my books are in my storage unit. But I just bought the big thick one because I was pretty sure I didn't have that one.
Gotcha. Full collection. I'm stoked for you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What did Victoria think of the bookstore?
She loved it,
Mm,
and I think she bought a couple of books too. And yeah,
it's the
it was
best.
yeah. So we're gonna go there next time
Perfect.
we
Yeah, not
come.
you just sneakily sending me flight information and prices. And I'm like, yeah, this is such a good time for me to fly there. I wish. But it's not happening,
I'm
unfortunately,
never gonna
anytime soon.
stop.
I know. I wouldn't expect anything less. It just made me laugh. I was like, yep. It's been a minute. But
It's about time. Well, I see deals, and I'm like, she's gotta come.
I know, but you also have to come here. How long's
I
it been
know.
since you guys have been to Utah?
The last time I went to Utah was I think it was like Thanksgiving of 2022.
Yeah. So
It's
I've been to you
2024
twice.
now.
I've been to you
I
twice since you've
know.
been back, you turd.
I know. I need to go, but also like it's cold there when
Not
I have time to go.
not currently. It's been a lovely day today.
I know, but it's my busiest time at work right now.
Just quit your job. It's fine.
Thank you for the wise words.
That's how I feel. All my best friends should quit their jobs and just hang out with me. Just kidding.
I'm approval. I approve of that message as long as we all have a plan.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have a plan yet, but I will think about it and try to come up with one.
Mm-hmm. Since it's getting warmer, aren't you like waiting for your house
Yeah,
until it gets
so
warmer? So
yes,
does that mean you're
we
starting soon?
most likely we just got approved for all of our permits and so we'll
Mm.
probably yeah, crazy. So we'll probably start digging the foundation soon. I don't have an exact timeline. My family just says this is what we're doing, and I show up. But it's probably going to happen soon since the weather is starting to be less
Nicer.
back and forth. Yeah. I mean, there's a week that it's nice, and then there's a week that it's raining. You never really know what you're going to get in Utah. Spring
Yeah.
is deceiving.
If you think you never know what you're going to get in Utah, you really don't know what you're going to get in Arkansas. It could be snowing or you could get a tornado.
Oh, God. I'm
We
glad we
actually
don't
had
have
to use our
tornadoes.
tornado shelter for the first time.
How was that?
It was fine. It was like 2
where?
in the morning and Victoria was here. And honestly, I was the only person that came into the tornado shelter prepared. I had a plan. I did everything that I knew that I needed to do, and then I got out into the shelter, and then everyone else was like, "Oh, I forgot a phone charger. Oh, I forgot a," and I'm like, "Guess who has all the stuff? I'm prepared. I'm ready to go."
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
So.
I can't say that I would be prepared for a tornado. I have never had that problem, so definitely not
I didn't. It was a good test run because there was one thing I didn't really think about, and that was to get a harness for Doug.
That makes sense.
I just got the dog in, and I put all of the insulin in a cooler and brought it out, and then I was ready to go, and Colm was like, "You already got the insulin?" I was like, "Yeah."
Of course, that's your first priority. Yeah, you need to keep him alive.
Yes, he's my number one concern. I get insulin before I take care of myself.
Yeah, that would be me too. But that's the opposite of what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, I know. On the airplane when they tell you to put your mask on first and then help the person beside you. No.
Exactly.
Nope, I'm getting the insulin first and then I'm going out and getting my own stuff.
Yeah. I've seen a dust devil. Never a tornado. Although
it's
my little brother was obsessed with the movie Twister when we were little. He was probably 6 and that was one of his favorite movies. So we just watched that movie all the time.
Twister in the early 2000s was a family staple, I feel like.
Yeah, we definitely abused that DVD. It's fine. But yeah, it's getting warm here, which I'm excited about.
Are you reading any good books right now?
I've been on a Sally Rooney kick, which she's kind of polarizing for people. People either love her books or they hate them. But I read Normal People and it gave me brain rot, and let's see, I don't even know how many books I finished since then, and I can't stop thinking about that book. So
sticks with you.
Yeah, I love the characters. I feel like they're really human and messy. So read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books since then, and I'm still thinking about that book. So, where my normal people at? I love that book. Other than that, not really. I need to convince Wyatt to go to the library and get a library card so I can add his on my Libby so I can check out more books.
That's funny. I think I have a library card there. You could use mine.
In Cedar, really?
Yeah.
You'll have to look for it because I just have to have the number and then I can upload it into Libby and make it work.
I bet I have it somewhere. I used to use that card, but
I bet you do.
Anymore because I moved away.
I bet even if you called them, they could tell you what it was.
But I don't know. Maybe you have to have. Don't you have to? Well, do you have to pay for it?
No, not here.
Okay, because here, you have to pay for it sometimes, depending on if you live there or what programs they subscribe to.
And we were talking about that because isn't there one that has a really cool, what is it, recording place and all of the 3D printers, right?
Yep. And it's $60 a year to get a library card.
Yeah, that's wild. Cedar is definitely not like that. We're not bougie, so
yeah, it's not like that. I've been to that library, but libraries.
I still love it.
are a different breed in this area because they have more funding than typical libraries. So
Exactly. Which I love. I think that libraries are a staple in communities. And I wish more people, everyone should have a library card, even if you're not using it, because
yeah.
then the government has to pay for it.
Yeah, then it helps their numbers. And I feel like libraries are probably the last place in American culture that you can go to without using money.
Exactly.
You could just be there and be a human.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything other than exist in that space, which is lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I love a library, but I've always been a
I love
book
a
nerd.
library too. If I was a building, I probably would be a library because it doesn't matter like why you come into my life. Like you don't have to do anything. You could just exist in it, and I'm happy that you're there.
That is true. That's a very good, I don't know, example. I don't even know what kind of building I would be.
Mm, I don't know
Not me.
either.
I'm trying to think
Uh,
of buildings, but I don't know of any
the
other.
first thing I thought of was a grocery store, but I don't have a reason for that.
Interesting. I I don't know. Maybe because you just always want to eat snacks when we're
No, no,
together.
no. It's a coffee shop.
Oh, yeah, you are definitely right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
See, we go perfect together.
Yeah, libraries and coffee shops.
Yes, we love it. What else did you do with your family when they were in town?
So, it was my mom's birthday, so we went and did birthday festivities, and we got pedicures, and
Mm,
then we went to lunch, and I took a half day from work. It was actually yesterday, so I like on the way to getting pedicures, I got a bouquet of flowers for her. And then she had to carry
lovely.
her bouquet of flowers everywhere we went. And people were like, "Why do you have a bouquet of flowers?" She's like, "It's my birthday." So then everybody wished her a happy birthday.
It's even better than a birthday sash.
I know, because then you get to take it home and put it in water. And we went to such a fancy restaurant that the waitress asked us if she wanted to put the flowers in water. So she took care of the flowers for her.
What? That's so
Yeah,
nice. I love that.
yeah. We went
Good.
to the Hive. It's like a hotel slash restaurant slash art museum.
Mm, that sounds
And
way fun.
yeah, it has delicious food too. Marisa, my sister, got a cheese plate, and
Oh,
then my mom got onion soup, and uh, I got a grilled cheese pimento. It's like pimento cheese, and I got a grilled cheese sandwich and fries. And it was so good. And then I also got I'm normally not a fan of ginger, but I got a ginger pineapple drink, and it was
oh no,
so
that
and
sounds
grapefruit.
delicious.
Yeah, ginger pineapple grapefruit drink, and it was so good.
I surprisingly love ginger, probably because I had chronic stomach aches as a child, and that's what my mom gave me was
Yeah,
ginger pills. But I love ginger.
I have a coworker that is like that too. She's like, I normally don't like or she's like, I like ginger, but I think it's just because it helps me with my migraines slash belly pains.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep, that sounds
I
fun.
don't. That's the only reason why I ever eat ginger is because I have a migraine.
I literally have like ginger chew candies at my house because I like it that much.
Yuck.
No, it's delicious.
I like
They
ginger ale sometimes if I'm in the mood for it.
Okay, I don't like ginger ale, which is really weird considering I do like ginger. But I think it's because when me and my cousins would play like house or whatever, I was always the sick kid, and my cousin Shelby would feed me ginger ale as my medicine, and I hate it.
Oh, okay.
So random.
Well, I had there was this ginger ale that was like where I grew up. There was like a ginger ale factory that it was like local ginger ale, but you could still get it in like a regular can and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then it got bought by Coca-Cola, and they were like, we're never going to close it. We're still going to keep the same recipe and everything. And then like 10 years later, they closed it, and it was really sad
That is sad. Boo.
because it was so good. And then they like bought the recipes and stuff, so they weren't allowed to like remake it anywhere. And
Mm.
so every once in a while, I'll see like a petition shared on the internet by like one of the people from my hometown that's like, bring back Northern Neck ginger ale.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
But that was the best ginger ale, and I actually liked that kind of ginger ale, but I haven't found one that is as good as that one was.
Mm. It's fair. I can't relate. We always had like that really crappy brand of ginger ale, so that's my only frame of reference for ginger ale.
Which one is the crappy brand?
It's like, you know, like Shasta.
Oh,
Like
Shasta. I like Shasta.
I feel like it's like that element. I don't know.
Mm.
I
Do
don't
you
like
remember when
Shasta.
you used to be able to get are you young enough to remember or old enough to remember that when you could get sodas for 25 cents at Walmart?
Um, like in a machine.
Yeah, like you go to the vending machine and put the 25 cents in, and you could get whatever soda you wanted.
I remember them having them up front, but I don't remember it being 25 cents. It probably was.
I just remember, like when I was a kid, every single time we would go to the store, I would always ask my mom for a quarter so that I
Would
could
love
go
it.
get a soda. And she would do it sometimes, but most of the time it was my sisters, because my sisters would take me to, they're all like 8 years or more older than I am. And so it would be their chore to go to the grocery store sometimes. And so they would bring me sometimes. And then my oldest sister actually started it, and then like all my other sisters like used the same tradition. But if they had taken me to the grocery store, they would buy a candy bar for me, and they would say,
Mm.
you're not allowed to tell mom. You can have this as long as you follow the two rules. You're not allowed to tell mom, and you have to finish it before we get home.
Mm.
And so I would always, sometimes more often, they would give me the quarter for soda than a candy bar. But yeah, I remember that all the time.
That's sweet. I'm surprised that your parents trusted you to like do the grocery shopping. I feel like as an adult, I still look for my mom in the grocery store.
I don't know if it's about trust. I think it's just because they didn't want to do the grocery shopping. So all of
That's
the kids
fair.
had to do the grocery shopping in my house growing up. Like even eventually it became my turn, and I was the youngest, and like I didn't have anybody to go with me. So I just had to go to the grocery store by myself.
Ugh, that sounds like my nightmare. I don't even like to go by myself now. If I do, I'm taking headphones so that I don't have to think about all the people by me.
It was different, I think, because um, uh, I didn't have to spend my own money. I was spending my parents' money,
That's true. It does
so
make it better.
it made it easier, and so I didn't have to. I wasn't worried about it like they were, except for I did. My stepdad was extremely particular, so I had like a credit card that was for groceries.
Mm-hmm.
That it was like their credit card or whatever, and so I had to turn all of my receipts in for everything that I bought at the grocery store. And any given day, it could be July, and my stepdad would pull a receipt out, and I had to answer for anything that was on that receipt.
Oh
And
my
it could have
gosh.
been like February 17th, and it was like July, and he'd be like, what did you buy on February 17th? And I would have to like remember
I would.
every single thing that I bought and recite it back to him.
Oh my god, I would have no idea. That sounds nuts.
It was nuts. Like,
I
can you
don't.
imagine? But my
No.
memory to this day is so much better because of that.
No, I have no brain power when it comes to memory. I'm like, I don't even know what I did yesterday. That's me.
Well, I mean, it's also very helpful for like having a job where I have a purchasing card too, because I have to turn in my receipt and answer for every dollar that I spent. And so now I'm like, well, if you ask me what I bought on this day, I will be able to recite it because I know exactly everything that I spend on everything. So while I did have freedom to spend what I wanted, I had to be able to like justify it.
That's fair. I feel like as long as I could look at the receipt, I could tell you why I was getting it, but just knowing it off the top of my head would not be a thing. Not at all.
To think that I could do that. But now I also have a really good memory for like names and stuff too. Because I'm in the process right now of hiring 40 seasonal employees. Since I'm just meeting a lot of new people right now in interviews, and I remember their names, and thankfully, like that's like a skill that I have that I just like. They like walk in and they're like, "You know my name?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know your name," and they're like, it helps them to trust me, and it automatically like establishes a relationship. It's like very helpful for you to remember
That is
people's
good.
names.
Absolutely. I'm definitely better with people's faces than names, and I have to do like mnemonic things to remember why their name is that versus, compared to their face.
I also think working at our last job helped us with remembering names too, because you had to remember 30 people's names and they were revolving 30 people
at all times.
At all times.
Well, and not only like our students, but the staff too,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, so that's more like 50 people's names at any time.
Exactly. That's so crazy to think that. I feel like that was a whole different life ago.
Yeah, it was a whole different life ago. Especially now that like I've been out of it for a long time now.
Well, and I've been done with them even longer, so
yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy. Sometimes I wonder how things are going. But eventually somebody texts me.
Right? I don't really talk
Except for I think my last connection there is leaving now.
Yeah, moving like across the country.
Yeah. So I don't know if anyone will ever text me from there.
That's funny. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. It's crazy. People are moving on. The world is shifting.
All of it. Yep. It's true. Who would have thought?
Kenzie is a bartender now.
Yeah. I'm an esthetician primarily, but a bartender on the side. It's fine.
Yeah. She moonlights as a bartender.
Yeah. Who would have thought? I definitely thought barista before bartender.
Yeah, I would have thought barista before bartender too, but that's the hours that you need to be at an esthetician.
Exactly. So, same vibe, just different I'm Nick Miller.
You are Nick Miller.
I did learn how to make an old fashioned, so it is definitely giving Nick Miller.
Yeah, it is giving Nick Miller. Didn't you recently send me a video of what's his name? Yeah. Max Greenfield? No, is that Schmidt?
That's Schmidt. Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson.
Yeah.
Jake Johnson was like on a podcast.
Sorry.
Did you send me that?
Yeah, I did. It was me.
I have other friends that send me stuff from New Girl too, so I didn't know if it was you. But you want to describe the video you sent to me?
So it's him on the podcast, and he's talking about how his therapist recommended that he go do a Reiki session. And Reiki is basically energy work for emotions and stuff trapped in the body. And he walks in, and the person who's like performing Reiki is like, "Oh yeah, this isn't Reiki that you need. You have like a dark entity." And basically neither one of them could talk or communicate afterwards because they both felt so awkward about what happened. She's like, "I don't do that anymore, and please never come back."
You weren't there for this experience, but I had somewhat of a similar experience with our friends Neil and Sarah.
Oh, okay. Do
you not know about this?
I don't think so.
We are pretty sure we accidentally joined a cult.
How many times have you accidentally joined a cult, Charli?
I don't know. I'm just
Like
one of
at
those
least
people.
5. At least 5.
I don't know. Do you remember the phase of life where Sarah had a house and that had an
Yes.
amazing basement, and
Hell yeah.
Neil lived there too,
Yeah.
and Neil would book
Through
shows
music.
in their basement.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had this friend that had a house that had an amazing basement, and it was so giant, and sometimes it was like our other friend Neil's like would use it as a music venue. And
It's like
so
70s.
yeah, it was like a 70s house, and it like a mid-century modern house. Is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And but Neil like went in and joined all these random Facebook groups to like do this booking thing for this venue that they were trying to create at Sarah's house. At the time, Sarah doesn't live there anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
so there was one. I went to a couple of the shows there, and it was really cool. But there was one show that I don't know where Neil found these people, but it was like the after hours
Oh no.
act. So it
I'm
was like there
concerned.
was this one act, and then it was like another act, and then it was like one that like got tacked on at the last minute, and they were staying in the house, and Neil didn't tell Sarah that they were staying in
Oh.
the house until like that day.
No.
And so Sarah was like somewhat freaking out, and
Naturally.
um nobody was staying for the after show, except for me and Sarah and Neil and Neil's dad, and Sarah's I think ex-husband was there, and like I think a couple other people that I don't remember was there, but I specifically remember that core group of people. And so we're down there in the basement, and these people, it's like some sort of like artsy people. I don't really get their vibe, but apparently they're staying at the house. So we had met them like before, and we didn't know what we were getting in for. It wasn't actually a band. It was like an art installation where
Oh.
so we all we're not allowed to come downstairs until they're set up. So they're set
Okay.
up, and we get downstairs, and it's all pitch black. And we're like, okay, are we about to get murdered? What's going on? And so then a light comes on, and it's like a spotlight, and it's like a dude that is like completely painted white and is just
What?
wearing toilet paper.
No. Okay. Is he like giving mummy? Like why?
Basically, it was like Mummy Bride kind of a situation.
I hate
Zombie,
this.
I don't know. And then like this then the music starts, but it's not music. It's mostly just like sounds where there was like it sounds kind of like horror music sounds, but then like
No.
bass. And then there's also then a projector comes on, and it's like projecting on his face, and he just kept saying the same phrase over and over again. It's like, I am
You
not an
were being
object, or something like
sacrificed.
that. I know. I was like, he just kept saying, I can't remember what he was saying, but it was like a phrase like, I am not an object, or something like that. And then he like came out into like the group of people and was like, pull this toilet paper from me. And so
No.
we had to like pull the toilet paper off of
Nope.
him. And I'm like, what is happening? And then it
I
evolved into like, I don't even remember. Like, I don't know what happened, but I don't know what happened, but
You
like it
blocked it
evolved
out. It was
from
that good.
there into like more weird things. And by the end of it was like an hour and a half long.
No.
And then the lights came on, and they were like, what do you think of our show? And I was like, did we just join a cult? And one of the performers was like, yeah, I actually am interested in starting a cult. And I was like,
No.
great.
Gotta go. Bye. Oh my hell.
Yeah.
That
So,
what did you
Sarah
guys
O'Neill,
even
if you're
say
listening.
to each other? Yeah. Afterwards, I feel like I how do you come back from that?
And then we all had to go to work the next day together.
Oh god. At least you were bonded before work.
And then we like walked in and we're all like, so we're gonna talk about it, and everyone's like, what's going on? And we're like, we're not gonna talk about what happened last night, but we're pretty sure we joined a cult.
Oh
And then
god.
every once in a while we'll send each other a message, and all it says is, do you remember that one time we accidentally joined a cult?
No, but I remember the one time um at the holiday Christmas party, I think it was Brad, he was giving like this important speech. And I popped a mint in my mouth, but it was the most disgusting mint I've ever had in my life. So I started choking on it and I spit it out into my hand. And everyone at our table made eye contact with me and started laughing. And then Brad just stopped his speech, and I was like, oh no. Ugh.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
good times.
there's that.
Yep.
I was thinking you were going to tell a very different story about the Christmas party.
Mm, what what were you thinking?
Um,
Is there
the
specific one?
Well, there are several reasons why I could have been considered a creeper at our last job, and one of them
You
happened
are a
at a Christmas
creeper.
party. Do you not recall this?
Oh, Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie went in for a hug and our other coworker went in for a hug, but they both turned and then they almost kissed
No,
instead.
we did kiss.
Oh, you did kiss. Okay. I
Yeah.
missed the moment that you kissed. Damn
Okay,
it.
so here's the story. So of when I kissed Karen at the Christmas office party. So the it was by no fault of my own. I would like to preface the
Mm-hmm.
story with that. All of the reasons why I could be considered a creeper are by no fault of my own. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
The Strother situation is way worse.
Yeah, it was.
Just saying.
Both were way worse.
Ugh.
Anyway, so Karen, she's the office manager at the place that we used to work. And she is the type of lady that she's very kind unless you do something
Mm,
to make her mad. And then she is not, she's someone that you always want to be on her
your
good side.
side. Yeah, exactly. She's a no
So I,
bullshit type of person.
yeah. So I worked my hardest to stay on Karen's good side all the time. And so it was the Christmas party, and she's one of my friends because I work hard to stay on her good side. And we're all sitting at the table, and Karen came in and to the party, and she came up behind me, and she was going to go kiss me on my cheek, but she's hugging me from behind, and I don't know who's behind me. So I turn my head to see who is behind me, and right then our mouths collided, and that's the story of when I kissed Karen at the Christmas party.
Yep. It was a good time. You're never gonna live down the Sunrise Creeper allegations.
I know. It's a problem.
It's fine. No one cares. I love it. Freaking Karen. I haven't thought about Karen for a hot minute either.
Does she still live in southern Utah?
I honestly have no idea.
I don't either. Anyway, I haven't talked to her in a really long time. Hope Karen's doing okay if you're listening.
Shout out, Karen. We care about you.
We care about Karen.
Oh gosh.
Well, that seems like a pretty good place to pause. Is there anything that you wanted to share that you didn't get a chance to share?
No, I'm straight chilling.
Well, thanks for coming on today. Do you want to plug your business?
I guess if you guys are interested in any skincare advice or just want to see some yummy extractions, you can follow me on Instagram at thatskinwitch. Yeah, I do acne stuff on there. Can answer your questions. I'm kind of
and she
boring.
does virtual client stuff too.
Yes,
So
I do.
if you don't live near her, she will give you a consultation for a price if you pay her.
For a price, yes. If you're interested, definitely reach out. I don't even know what that price would be, but I got you.
Well, I'm just trying to, because it's a very good skill that Kenzie is the best of the best.
Thank you.
As we know from the time that I still have not gotten my eyebrows done since you've been to visit me, which is over a year, which is a problem for me if you know about my eyebrows.
That's what I'm
But
saying. You have to
I
come
did it
here.
one time without Kenzie since I've moved away from Kenzie, and I will not ever go get my eyebrows again until Kenzie is able to
the,
do it.
the crazy thing is, like, we researched this person. I gave the okay. I thought it was going to be fine, but Charli just has, not straightforward situations. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you're just meant to be blessed by these hands.
Okay. Well, listeners, we care about you, and go to sleepoverpod.com if you want to send a message, like, share, review, share this podcast with a friend. Until next time. Sounds good. Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.